everyone, my name is Shahira and I do resin arts and crafts. So before we get into today's video, please subscribe to my channel and please like, please comment. You guys don't want to miss out the fun things. So I made lots of resin products from keychains, coasters, bowls, and even phone cases. I do make lots of customized products. I rarely have my ready-made products. So if you are interested to see more of my products, you can visit my Instagram at shirstruly. The spelling goes SHIRSTRULY, like yours truly, but it's shirstruly. So for today's video, I'll be showing you guys on how I made these beautiful keychains. Take a closer look. So I'll be showing you guys on how I made these pastel like keychains. So let us take a closer look. It has gold fillings inside. It is pink, purple, and blue, light blue. So without further ado, let's get into it. So these are all the basic items that you'll need. First, of course, you'll need the resin. So this is the pair of hardener and resin. So when you first get your package, you have to read the instruction that is given to you by the seller, because it depends on the shop whether the ratio is 1:1 or 1:3. So mine is 1:3 ratio. So one ratio is hardener, this is the hardener, and this is the resin. So mine is 1 part and resin is 3 part. So you have to measure it by weight, and that is why you're gonna need kitchen scale or any scale that you can use. And please wear your mask on, and please wear your gloves as well, because it is gonna be, please wear your gloves as well, because it's really hard to wash off the resin, and probably your skin's gonna get itchy by the resin. And you're gonna need your mold, any mold, but for today I'm gonna do alphabet keychains. And this is plastic cup. I prefer to use plastic cup and a clear one. That way you can see if the resin is evenly stirred when it is as clear as water. And probably you'll need a lighter, but actually you can make it. Actually this is like an extra items, but I mean this one is pretty cheap, so probably you're gonna need it. And this one is this is stopper, so I use it for doing small works, small details like pouring inside this kind of mold. And I use ice cream stick for stirring. And yeah, I'm gonna use colors, pigments for this time. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm gonna pour the hardener first. Usually there will be a cap so the liquid won't spill, so tear it down like how you push the straw into your boba. So I'll be using 30 grams of hardener and thus the resin. And please always push the tap button before you pour the second part. And you might want to use a more sensitive scale that could measure precisely so you would not pour in too much, and always pour little by little so you won't spill. Okay, here's a tip to quickly mix the hardener and the resin. So I did this all the time, and what I did was I soaked the cup for the mixture in a bowl of warm water, but please do not soak it for too long as it might affect the mixture. This could be dangerous when it is exposed to too much heat and you don't want to know what happened. I usually would not soak it for not more than 2 minutes if the amount is too little. And despite how wild I stirred, please stir slowly as bubbles will start to show up if you stir it too violently. And to know that you have thoroughly mixed the resin, please watch the mixture closely. The mix will appear as clear as water, and I mean very clear. If it looks even a bit cloudy, please stir for some more time. So this is how it looks like if it's mixed properly. And I always stir it again and again so I wouldn't have trouble later. And make sure you cover your workspace before you pour the resin. I would cover with anything plastic, as you can always pull them out after it's cured. Then we'll start pouring the resin into 4 separate cups. So pick the color you like, and if you don't have the color, so you can always mix your basic color into, your secondary color, your tertiary color, so any color that you like. So I'll be using these pastel colors, which is purple, blue, pink, and a bit of gold. And I also will be using this dropper. They are cheap and you can always buy in bulk. Now it's time for pouring it into the mold. So for this pattern, pour the color one by one and bit by bit. So we'll start with pink first. You might want to thoroughly clean the mold first, but if it's not, then it's fine. It's just your art style. And feel free to design it however you want it. Let those creativity flows. Let those creativity flows and whatever. They actually looks like ice cream to me though. So this is the overall look for the first color, and we'll go to the next color and we'll put on some purple. But I noticed that the color was a bit lighter than I intended it to be, so I put into some dark purple, so it'll look a bit different than a pink. As you can see, the colors are mixed naturally and beautifully when are put together. Then, we'll put blue at the blank part. Just let them be nice to each other, get to know each other well. And if you could see it closely, they form a bit of pattern, which actually looks pretty decent. Depending on the time you pour the resin, the time you pour the color together, they might form different pattern. And torching will help to remove bubbles. So some use heat gun, but I prefer to use torch as it is more convenient. It is cheaper, way cheaper. Yeah. And as to not waste the resin, you just add up the resin where you think the color is lacking. And you might want to put more color if you want that specific color to be the main color. So if you notice that I'll use more pink than the other color, so pink is my main color. And this is only the first bit, so that's the reason I put only a bit color, because this is the first layer and you're gonna make like 2 more layers, I guess. Then we'll put the last color, which is the gold. So sometimes metallic powder like this gold is a bit different than any powder. And after like 6 hours, it actually has cured, but it is still soft, so we can put on the next layer. It cannot be demolded yet. So I'll put some gold fillings inside. Actually, I've never tried this before, so let's see how it'll turn out. And put the clear resin first, and then we can put any fillings that we want. So I tried to put silver glitter, but it didn't go well with the colors. So let's limit the mistake until the letter B. Still, it didn't look that bad though. Then we put in the fillings. It's really cute. It has different sizes and different types of flowers. Overall look, super cute. Again, put more clear resin to thicken the alphabet and I use heat gun this time to pop out more bubbles, and sometimes actually the bubbles can be quite pretty if you like the pattern to be like so. This is my most favorite part, which is demolding. Usually you would wait for like 24 hours, but you might want to wait more so it is totally hardened. Then we can sand out the edges. Sometimes the resin might stick out, so in some cases you might cut it if it's still soft or sand it if it's hardened. And I usually use nail buffer and or sandpaper. Then we'll put the keyrings, and it can be a bit hard if it's totally hardened, so use this small manual driller. Okay, I'm not sure what the name is, but that will be convenient to use. So sometimes you do not like the surface, the edges on the surface. So this is what I usually do. So for this one, you have to mix the resin as usual and wait for like 10 to 15 minutes so the resin has thickened a bit. This way the resin will not be as flowy and can be put on the surface. You might want to use small things to pour it on top. And if you look closely, the surface is smooth and a bit round, so it actually looks less edgy and more shiny. Oh, and I'll put my Shopee link down below, so if you are interested, you can check that out and maybe click the follow button. And I'll put along my ready-made products there, so if you want it, grab it fast, because you know, who knows how long it will be there. So here are the final results. So I tried to go outdoors and get some good lighting. I don't know if it turns out well, but I tried my best. thank you so much for watching my humble video, and I hope you guys are here next time I upload my videos. Bye bye.